So I got this suit used and I'm doing my first latex repair. There's a little tear right here and it looks like this has been patched numerous times. All this black material has been added on. So you can see there's been an old blowout and that was patched. But anyway, yeah, that'll be fun. So I've got my cement and my heptane so that I can clean the suit before I start. This I bought because I can actually mix this with the heptane to make this. So that's a later thing though. Right now I just want the cleaner. I'll show you the next step as I'm cutting the material to do the patch. So back a very long time ago I used to do lamination and I had a rotary cutter and a rotary cutting mat. So I already own these two things. This one's tiny though. I'm going to need to get a 24 by 36 which will pretty much cover more than half this table. What I want to do is get a patch that's long enough to go from here about to the same height as this one. So that'll put it at the mid back of the suit instead of anywhere in the crotch for the reinforcement of the zipper seam. Alright, I have a 1-inch ruler rotary mat. I'm going to have to do it in multiple positions, which is not ideal, but oh well, that's what I got. Which side do I want this material on? Yeah, I want to cut on the side of the ruler with my right hand, so I'm just going to roll this over. That way I can have the excess material here for a left-hand hold. The piece of material that I need is, alright, so about 3 inches from the bottom. And that's going to run up I'll just measure it like this would be easier. So 11 inches. That's how long I want my strip. Cut that last bit with the shears because I'm going to be rounding the end of it anyway. Got these leather crafting shears which are pretty sharp. Alright, so there's my navy on one side, royal on the other piece of material. I'm going to round the ends to get rid of the corners as my next step. I'm using some leather worker tools to round the ends. Basically this is a round end punch. And I'm going to use my poly mallet. Didn't cut fully through. Let's try that again. Pretty close. I didn't want to damage the mat too much. There we go. So, nice rounded end. Do the other side. So now what I have is a pill-shaped, elongated strip. Did a little bit of damage to the mat, but I don't care about this one. I would probably use the poly board next time because that's cutting deeper than the rotary cutter. I need to clean the talc off of this and any dressing aid off of this. Get this hanger out of here. Flakes. Alright, But this is a pretty easy repair zone because it's just straight up the zipper seam. Childproof cap. I'll show you how I deal with these things. I can hate this. So I take my little end nipper. This works great on pill bottles too. Just make it about 1/8 of the way around. A little nip. Then you can take the edge, peel it away. Depending on how soft the plastic is, you might want to watch your eyes when you're doing this, like look away. But no more safety cap. This is pure heptane solvent thinner for reducing rubber cement. So you can use any number of different chemicals like mineral spirits, also known as paint thinner for oil-based paints. But all the cool kids are using heptane, because why not? A little bit of curl on the open side, but that'll fix itself in the next 5 minutes or so, probably. Should probably wear rubber gloves for this. I can already see it's taking the oil off my hands and leaving some white ashy spots, but this is my first time doing it, and I'm sure I'll pay the price later. This is going to curl up when I cover it with heptane. I'm just waiting for that fun. Yeah, there's the curl. Knew it was coming. Got a little bit of static electricity on my table, which is handy. It's holding it down. Gotta love winter in Colorado. Alright, well, the talc is off of there. It's not sticking to itself because it's still got some of that curl effect. This isn't exactly the same color, but it's pretty close. I'm going to do the light color on the inside with the glue side. Alright, next step, I need some masking tape to keep this thing from curling up mercilessly when I put my adhesive on it. I got my masking tape. I've laid down a piece of PVC sheeting here. Keep my plastic table from becoming a casualty in the event of some chemical residue being difficult. Alright, the blue side is the one that's going to be out, so I'm doing the tape on the opposite side. I don't have the wide enough tape, so I'm just going to do 2 pieces. Alright, so this particular sheeting, tape doesn't stick to it very well, so it's also an ideal surface for my table. Alright, so this is going to keep my piece behaving itself as I put the glue on. You don't get a brush, but it turns out when you're a leather crafter, you have all kinds of clever stuff around, like these acid shop brushes made of boar hair bristle. So I can just throw these away when I'm done with them. They cost like 5 cents a piece. Since this is a crotch and back area repair, I'm not too worried about it looking brush stroked, because I've seen that spreading with a card or something similar is a good way to go to avoid seeing brush strokes. But on this repair, and one of the reasons why I'm doing this first, is I don't care when I start crafting, like doing cuffs and things, then I might want to spread it a little more carefully. But for now, I just want to get the glue on there. Let it do its crazy curl thing. And then the 5-minute clock starts. So the time presently is 10:40. All right. Now I've got a rip, but it's open on the other side, so I'm going to put a little piece of tape on that as well to hold that closed while it is setting, so that way my repair stays neat and tidy. So that'll hold the original seam closed as it was intended by the maker. Because when I put the glue on there, it's going to curl up and there's no way to hold it exactly where you wanted it. That tape is not sticking very well, so guess what? More heptane. Turns out clothing lube doesn't allow tape to stick very well. Who would have thought? Yeah, let's try a fresh piece. Much better. Okay, so now that piece is behaving itself. And it's ready for some glue. I'm going to do the inch patch. I'm going to overlap it probably about 1/8 inch on this far side of the zipper where it's just the interior flap. And then about 3/8 over the zipper itself and 3/8 over the seam. So about to the top of this current patch and just an 1/8 inch below there. I'm going to kind of guess on that as I go. Overlap the black a little bit from the previous patch. I'm glad to see that material is not curling away from my tape at all. Not too worried about excess on this one either, but that's something that I'm definitely going to be looking into, is how to get the extra cement off of it where you've put too much. Trying not to make a big mess, but at the same time, I'm not too worried about being exactly neat. What I don't want is to have the edge of the patch curl up because it's only got glue on half of it. Alright, let's see if I went far enough or too far. I have an 11-inch patch. And I am 1 inch short, so not too bad. That should cover me. Pretty darn well. Alright. This is already pretty much uncurled now, so it's just about ready. What this now needs, it's 5 minutes. Keep that from sticking to itself, because it's wanting to curl on me. I'm just going to hold it. Put this solvent bottle under it. Let that ride that. There we go, perfect. Alright, well, we're 5 minutes from this one's being finished, according to my watch here. We will have to wait another 4 minutes. And if I want to save this brush, I can probably just dip it in some heptane. That's a good experiment. But for a later time, again, it's a 10-cent brush, 5 10-cent brush, not a big deal. The roller that I'm using, I chose a silicone one. There's some stainless steel ones out there, but they're designed for automotive uses, like putting in Dynamat for sound dampening. But they have little grooves in them. I chose this one because it's nice and smooth, and I know nothing sticks to silicone, even other silicones. So I figured if I get some glue slopped over on this, it would be easy to clean it off the surface of it. It's got a pretty good heavy weight to it. The silicone rubber is very hard on this particular casting, so it shouldn't be anything other than awesome. You can use wood or poly, but again, I just wanted to have easy cleaning. Alright, curl's starting to relax a little bit, so that's good. I'm doing a repair over a zipper, which means I'm not going to be able to get the best pressure with the roller because it's a slightly uneven surface, but fortunately I'm not going to the full edge of the zipper itself. I'm only going to the middle point of its attaching material. So I'm hoping that I can still get that smushed down there pretty good. Another 3 minutes to go. Alright, so I have about a minute left to go, but the curl has relaxed on this to the point where it's not trying to stick to itself anymore. So I figure, hey, let's get this laid out where I can actually work with it. And not have the rest of the suit be so much in the way that it falls off my table. Alright, so there's the entire repair zone. So I can better see the exact edge of what I'm working with. I'm going to trim away the tape, but not cut the rubber. Just do it right at the edge. So that way when I lay it down there, I can be precise. Cool. Alright, time's up on 5 minutes from the last gluing that I did. Here's my little patch. And I need to do my centering carefully too, it looks like. I'm not getting too much curl from this actually. I think I can probably just dispense with this tape altogether at the end here. Have to remember that for next time, just peel it off once it's flat. Anyway, so 1/8 inch on the bottom seal, overlap a 1/2 inch, and then right at the edge of it. Alright, now we just have patch. And I'm not stretching it too much, just to make sure I don't have any overlaps. We're on 1/8 inch from the zipper side. Fortunately, you can peel it off fairly easily until you've pinched it, pressed it in place. I'm going to try this technique here where I just kind of roll it back slowly. A little more overlap on the bottom than I'm getting. There we go. That technique seems to be working pretty good. Don't want too many wrinkles here, so there we go. Hey. It's not that difficult to work with. I was dreading it, but it seems alright. I've got a few little pinch-ups here, but it's on the inside, and it's my first job, so whatever. It's close enough. I don't see any major errors. I have some extra glue here, some extra glue on the edges, but not a lot. Now I'm going to roll it, mash it. I'm doing the part that's just a single layer of latex underneath it first. So there's no extra material getting stuck in there. Now the rest of it, this other half, is where the zipper is. I'm glad I chose a silicone roller because also the corners aren't sharp, so it's not going to put any stress on that latex. See a couple of bubbles that are disappearing now as a result of my pressure. That excites me. Always helps to have good tools. Including these fingernails of mine. It reminds me of doing window tint and having bubbles. Not fun. Always go to a professional tinter. That's something that you can be great at if you do it all day, every day. Any novice is going to mess it up. It's going to have dirt. It's going to be ugly. Do not recommend. Alright, and my original tear that I was so worried about, that started this whole repair, nice and clean. That's it right there, the only lateral part of that tear. And then the lengthwise part is also covered. I do have a tiny bit of wrinkling here. I'm going to see if I can fix that by pulling it, but I think now that I've smashed this down, it ain't going to go anywhere. No, I was wrong. This glue hasn't set yet, that's why you gotta wait 24 hours, I guess. So you can still pull up the edge and fix your little mistakes. It turns out it ain't that difficult. There you get to see just how stretchy your latex is. Let's push that down again and making sure there is no wrinkle underneath this time. Better. Another one right here though. First timers experiences. Give that a little stretch before I squeeze it back down again. That way I'm not trapping these little veins of latex in there. Let's roll that down. That's pretty solid. I have two little tiny bubbles, but they are not on my seam that I was concerned about. That's here. They're well over by the zipper. So I'm going to lance them with this ball here. And pop them like little blisters. And next time I'm going to be more careful not to leave any stupid little bubbles. But this way the adhesive around it will stick, because once this glue dries, if I tried to pop these later, then I ain't going to be having it. Yeah, I was able to eliminate them perfectly. There's going to be a pinhole there, but it doesn't matter because I'm not requiring the strength of the material in that one spot. So, all in all, not too bad, and let's see how that goes in 24 hours.